I'm Marianne.
And I'm Ginger. Welcome back to Dumb Witch Club. This is so fun.
It's so fun. People are probably like, they're in costume? Like,
Yeah, who's Marianne and Ginger?
First of all, who's Marianne and Ginger?
Yeah.
Secondly,
what is that?
why? This is how we normally look.
That's very true.
Yeah, no, this is our Halloween dressed up episode.
It's so fun.
It's so fun and so cute. After our card pull and why though, we're going to get more into who we are portraying, who are Marianne and Ginger. Mm-hmm. And then you can decide for yourself if you're a Marianne or a Ginger.
Ooh, that's a fun little, quiz. I bet that was something that they talked about a lot.
It definitely was. Definitely was. So
that's cute.
But first, as Ashely and Jackie, let's do a card pull. Because I cannot keep up this Marianne, dumb country girl thing.
It's really not you at all.
No.
And I wouldn't say that Ginger is really very my personality either.
No.
Not to the level that she...
No. She was... Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk more about it. But
we will.
But that's why it's called acting.
Learn something. Embodying her more.
We're here to teach you.
That's right.
Okay. Ooh, card pull. Card pull.
Okay.
Good Lord.
Good Lord.
Grief. We get the grief card all the time.
I know.
And normally I'm trying to figure out what it means. I'm just annoyed with this and I want to pull a new card.
Throw it. Yeah,
Yep.
I am annoyed. I don't want to think about that right now.
No, I don't either. And this is valid.
I don't have the capacity for that.
This is valid. You can do this. Ooh, yeah. Mischief. Much
That's
better. Okay. Keep your eyelids open and sight sharp as nails, for there is something trailing behind your tail.
That's cute. That's fun.
It's cute. And there's a house with a turret and all this cool stuff. And the ladies are creeping around on it they're
I like it.
Up to mischief.
I think that's cute. I'm not afraid of that or anything. That doesn't feel negative to me. It feels fun. It feels cute. It feels Halloween-y.
It feels fun and cute. I agree. And I also just want to go back to truly, if you were doing card pulls by yourself or whatever with somebody, and we have gotten that card so many times, I don't want that energy. You can totally discard a card. Your card pull is still valid. If it's something really meant for you and the second card you get is similar, I'd say then you really do have to sit with that. Yeah. But you can also just, especially if you're doing a one card pull.
Yeah, and I don't, honestly, if that's something that's coming through, then likely you already know why, and you already know that. So there's no rule that says, you have to deal with that right now. You don't. You can put that aside and maybe deal with it later or whatever, but, there's no rule that says you have to do it right the instant that you see it, so...
No, and I think that's a really good point, especially if you see it and you know what it means.
Yeah.
Then just get the next message. You already got that message. It's giving it to you again. You already got it.
Sometimes when we start to get into this season too, this is... I feel like it's my energy that does this. It really starts to, hammer that point so much.
It's not your energy. It's the season's energy.
Yeah, but remember when I kept pulling...
Yeah, I know, but I still don't think it's you. You.
That's
you know?
Good. I'm glad that it's not me.
Yeah, I don't think so. But, all right, so let's get into some mischief.
Let's get into some mischief. That's fun. Okay, well, before we do that, though, we kind of have to do why, though.
Well, that is what I meant.
That's mischief. Okay.
I meant the why, though.
I was unclear.
Yeah, no, but you're right.
Okay.
And I have been having a very forgetful day. Extremely forgetful, so I easily could have forgotten about why though, so I appreciate keeping me on check.
No, that's totally valid. And I mean, it's valid that you're feeling this. It's a chaotic season.
It is, and actually I really appreciated that when I was describing all of the awful, annoying things that I've done, specifically today, but throughout this week that have been just forgetful and impacted people, and I've just been I'm sorry, like that. You were well, it's eclipse season. Exactly. And I was yeah. It is.
It's not my fault.
That's why.
That is why, though.
I do think so.
The end. No, just kidding. Yeah. That's why, though, bye.
No, but it does help. It does help.
It helps. Okay.
But what do we have to say for why, though?
Well, it's officially Scorpio season. I mean, as of this release, it is officially Scorpio season.
Yes. Yes,
So,
it is. Yes, it is.
Let's get deeper. Let's get dramatic. Let's embrace our existential dread. Yay.
I'm like, are you going to be doing that?
No. I'm going to be denying all of it the entire time.
Yeah. No, but that's right, though.
Yes.
That is the season. And, I feel like, obviously, there's no coincidence that Scorpio season comes at what we now call spooky season.
Yeah.
And it really is bringing up from the depths, like, the shadow stuff, the dark stuff, the stuff that, we can turn it around and make some mischief and play with it and make it fun and, whatever. But it can also be uncomfortable. And if you're going through the uncomfortable side of it, we're with you.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You can do what we just did, right? Just push it aside for a bit and not really have to go there. Like, you don't have to. You really don't.
Eventually you do, but you can decide when, and you can decide how much energy you have for that and how much you need to contain that into specific times and places and not have it like just, seeping out everywhere like the watery sign that Scorpio is.
Exactly. And you can decide how deep you really want to dive. Like, no one says you have to go all the way to the bottom where you can't see anymore. There's no rule about that. You can go to your comfort level. You don't have to self-flagellate. It's not part of, the requirement for you.
Yeah. Well, and that is nice to hear coming from a Scorpio.
I know. Well, it's what I have to tell myself, so it comes out pretty readily.
Yes. So happy Scorpio season, darling.
Thank you.
It is your season.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
It is. It really is. So that is official,
yeah.
I know there's some, and I don't know if you wrote about any of there are some aspects happening with...
Yeah, I saw it. I didn't write a lot about it, but if
Me
you wanna...
either. No, I didn't. So I was asking you if you did.
I chose not to really focus on that because it felt like a lot. It just felt like too many things.
Yes, like Pluto's getting involved again. Yeah. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was already kicked out and I'm still here.
I know. He's like, I'm still out here. I can't get rid of me.
Can't demote me. I'm out here.
So accurate. Like, I'm still on the payroll.
No, seriously.
Still influencing things.
I know. So the next big thing that I have that is probably what you have too. Yeah. As we have already mentioned, we are in the midst of eclipse season. Yes. So we have a resurgence of eclipse energy. We have a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus.
Yeah. So this is interesting and gonna feel crazy because we're like returning to wrap things up and close this chapter of the Taurus Scorpio axis.
Yes, because as we've also been talking about, the nodes have shifted into Aries and Libra, but they're right there still to where this one is still happening in Scorpio and Taurus.
Yeah. So what you want to think about, which again, it's going along with everything we're saying right now too. These are things to think about. Take it at your own pace and decide how much energy you have. But what you really want to think about is April, May of this year, earlier this year, November of last year, and then November of the prior year.
Yeah, because those were the previous times that the eclipses were happening on these poles, right?
Yes, exactly.
During that season.
During those seasons. So it's gonna dredge up things that came around then. Even if there was some resolve had, it could bring those things up again, bring the feelings around them up again. So it's a good idea to maybe like revisit if you do like a tarot journal or any other kind of journal, or maybe just like notes in your phone, or just look at your calendar, just kind of see what was going on then, again, to your comfort level with things, and then kind of just see what you think about that, like where you're at with some of those closures and resolving.
And I also just want to say, some of these could be good things.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe there has been resolution, or maybe these were like growth points, or maybe they were like positive things that came into your life.
Totally.
And that like the story about those things is continuing and is maybe wrapping up in a way now. This could be anything. So I know sometimes when we talk about astrology, at least for me, I'm like, oh God, what were the problems I was working on, or what were and it might not be problems. It might be nice things.
Yeah, because as much as like, I think people think that more because eclipse periods tend to feel like chaotic. So when you're looking back at that stuff, some of that might have felt that way because they were also eclipse seasons that you're looking back at. But yes, like the whole point of the eclipse is to push you and make you a little bit uncomfortable and push you out of those comfort zones. So the goal is that there's growth there, right?
Well, yeah, and I'm also just thinking, like, say, like, you during one of those points got a new job,
right,
which might be great, but is also stressful and involves, like, challenging yourself to learn new skills and saying goodbye to the previous thing that you were doing and, like, trying, you know, and evolving. And maybe that happened during one of those times, and maybe now you're gonna like get a promotion, or maybe now someone else has gotten hired into where you're gonna be training them or something like that, you know, which is still stressful.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
It's good. It's not like, you know, death and such.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
And I think that the Taurus energy too, I feel like in the midst of all this chaos and then sort of bridging over to the Libra Aries axis, like I feel like the Taurus energy is a really good kind of soft place to be. It's very like self-focused and focused on like making yourself kind of like comfortable and taking care and staying kind of like still and just evaluating. So it's a good energy to kind of like bridge that.
Yeah, and also just maybe this is the last thing we'll say about this. This is now a lunar eclipse that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
So this is a night energy. This is happening under the, you know, sort of veil of night, which I think also adds depth, but also adds softness to it.
That's true. That's very true.
You know, it's not like that solar eclipse where it's like, you know, everything's feeling weird. And I mean, you know, like the so dramatic.
Yeah, the energy's like different.
The lunar eclipse is a little less dramatic, even if it's in Scorpio season.
Yeah, but yeah, lean on those other energies that are there because that'll help you figure it all out.
Yeah, and if your brain is like scrambled and scattered inside, maybe it'll feel better after that too.
Yeah, perhaps.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, who knows?
I'll tell you what happens.
We don't answer all those questions. We just tell you the why though, and then it's up to you to figure all the rest of that out. We don't know.
That's right. That's why we call it why though.
We call it
we're
why,
also
though.
Wondering.
Yeah, there's a question mark at the end.
But all right, I think that's enough why though for now.
It's enough. I didn't even want to do that, so it's enough.
So that's your why though.
That's your why though. Okay. Big witch energy.
That was cute.
Thanks.
That reminded me of something fun, and yeah, I liked it.
Uh-huh.
Big witch energy. Okay. What are we supposed to be talking about?
Okay, well, I think we should talk about our costumes because...
Okay, good. You're not going to call me out yet. Okay, yes. Let's talk about our costumes.
No. I'm not ever going to do that.
Uh-huh. Well, I'll call myself out. It's fine.
That's fine, but I'm not going to do it. I think we should talk about our costume.
Oh, also because our costumes, like, hint to the...
Yes, there's a connection there. Yes.
Yes.
Look at you.
I know. My brain's starting to work again.
Making connections. It's working. Synapses are firing now.
Neurons are awake. Yeah, so our costumes are...
Yes, so I'm Ginger Grant, I think is like technically her name.
Yes, I know.
Show, yeah.
And I'm Marianne Summers.
Oh, that's perfect for her.
So cute.
That's so cute.
So we are from the show Gilligan's Island.
Mm-hmm.
This is a weird old show.
Isn't it so weird when you have to explain something that's just like so a part of like the fabric of your life that but you have to extract it now and try to explain. It's like not explainable. It's like it's zeitgeist. Like, how do Gilligan's Island? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I feel like I never learned what Gilligan's Island was. It just was.
It just existed. There. Yes.
Yeah. So this show, and you know, I don't have the exact dates on when this show ran.
I don't either.
But the show, it was like in the 70s.
Yeah,
right?
It was like late 60s to like mid-70s?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first season was in black and white, and then the later seasons were in color.
Yes,
and
right? Yes, that's totally right. It might have even been the first two, but
at least
one.
the first one, if not more than that. It's
really
hard to tell.
And then they were shot in color, and then they colorized the ones that weren't in color, and you can actually tell, like, because you can tell the difference, like, you can tell, which is weird that they did that, because other black and white shows, they just show them in black and white.
Look, technology back then was so weird, and I mean, it's still kind of weird, right?
I don't understand it.
No, but I feel like back then it was like, I mean, Technicolor was the thing, and then it was like, we can go back and we can colorize all. It's like, what?
Why are you doing that?
Because some nerd was like, we can do that.
Yeah, totally. And then they have these, like, cheeks, and you're like, why does they look like reanimated corpses?
Yeah, which, I mean, yeah, that's that's probably a better concept for a TV show, honestly.
Yeah.
Show about reanimated corpses stuck on a deserted island. Okay, so the concept for Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
And the entire premise of it is in the theme song.
Yes. So just sit right back and
you'll hear a tale of a
fateful episode we're trying to make.
Exactly. So there were these people that went aboard a 3-hour tour.
On a tiny ship.
But there was a storm. And if not for the courage of the fearless crew, the Minnow would have been lost. Yeah, so the SS Minnow. So it's these people. There's seven people.
Is it 7 people? 7 people.
And two of them are the crew.
2 of them are the crew.
Went on this boat tour.
And we don't know why.
We don't know why.
Or what they were touring.
And then a storm comes.
Yeah.
The ship lands on an island and they're just stuck there, marooned forever.
Just marooned.
Forever.
Yeah. That's where every single shot takes place.
That is the entire premise of the show. And we were commenting on this earlier. Somehow, all of the characters on that show for a 3-hour tour packed trunk loads of outfits and clothing, makeup, shoes, everything.
Like things so that they could style and coif their hair.
Yes, because it's like, the hairstyles.
Oh, it was the 1960s, 70s. Their hairstyles were amazing.
So Marianne is like, and I don't know how much like kind of backstory they ever go into of any of these people and why they're there. I really don't think they do. But in my imagination, she's from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, 100%.
And she was on vacation for some reason by herself, taking a boat in a tropical island. And she brought all of her gingham and all of her hot pants shorts.
Yes.
And all of her little crop tops. And she wore pigtails with ribbons all the time.
Yeah.
And
she was sweet.
Sweet and a little bit dumb. But she was always really helpful.
Yeah, she was very helpful, very sweet, very, very, very tan.
Yes, she was very tan, which
very tan.
Couldn't replicate.
Like she would be canceled today if she's just too tan.
Yeah. So she was played by this woman named Dawn Wells.
And such a sweetie pie.
Yeah, she's great. So anyway, that's Marianne.
Yeah. Ginger was the movie star. Yeah, and she wasn't. It wasn't an original character. They like made this a character. There were like other characters at first. I forget what they were, but then they're like, no, we need like another kind of like sexy female, whatever. So they made Ginger, and I read, but I don't know how true this is, that Jane Mansfield auditioned for the role.
Oh, I don't know.
I know, so we'll probably never know. But
it's a good rumor, though, if it's not true.
I love it. And it was very, very obviously modeled after a Marilyn Monroe-esque character. She was a diva. She didn't really help with anything.
No, she was always wearing, like, floor-length gowns.
Yes, like
and,
sequins.
Like, giant diamond, Yes.
She was useless completely, but she was good eye candy.
Yeah.
And she was played by the actress Tina Louise, who... that character is probably not very far off from how Tina Louise was rumored to be in her real life. So
amazing.
She was like the epitome of like, don't you know who I am? And everyone's like, yes, Ginger. And she's like, damn it. But that's what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. So there was only one other like female on the island, and that was there was a couple, the Howells, who were millionaires. That's their little stereotype. And so Mrs. Howell was there. She was an older woman, and she was also kind of, you know, clueless and kind of dumb, but in this, like, I'm above everything way.
Yeah, I've been rich my whole life.
Yes, I just don't understand anything that's going on, you know? Yeah. Like, where's my butler, you know, like that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. She's great, too. That actress was great, Natalie Schaefer, and she lied about her age forever.
Oh, and she was in a bunch of things.
Oh, she was in so many things, and she was,
Like, when she was young, she always played, like, a hoity-toity, like, aristocrat lady.
She fit it so well.
So well, and she had the voice for it, and she was always lilting. Anyways, love. So, anyway, these are our Halloween costumes.
Yes, so you should watch the show if you can stream it somewhere. I don't know, is it streaming?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's streaming somewhere, but if you ever just want to, even just clips of it or something, I think, just to kind of see, like, what TV was like back then and what they were doing, it's crazy, but it's really cool. The other thing I would recommend for Gilligan's Island is there's a podcast called, I know you listen to it sometimes, the Dearly Departed podcast, with Scott Michaels, who's a Hollywood historian. Well, he's a historian in general, but knows a lot about Hollywood, and Michael Dorsey, who's a filmmaker, and they have an episode on Gilligan's Island, and they sort of focus on, like, the morbid and, like, the deaths and things like that, but they have a lot of really good stories about the show.
That is such a hot tip. I love it.
Yeah, it's a really good episode, and their podcast is amazing, but their Gilligan's Island episode is very good.
Very great. I love that. So you may ask, what does this have to do with witchery? And literally the answer is nothing.
Nothing. Because witches like to have fun, too, and watch old TV shows.
Yeah, I don't know. We like to, and we're witches, so.
There you go.
I know. Yeah. So, okay. So our plan, all right, I'm just going to call myself out. Our plan for this episode was, because we do like TV shows, we like old shows, we like themes, we like Halloween, we like witchy stuff, you know, whatever. So we were like, oh, like, I always love it when they did, like, Halloween episodes of, like, the shows that we used to watch. And so we should talk about our favorites of those.
Yeah.
And I literally couldn't come up with anything. The only things I could come up with were shows that, I mean, literally nobody wants to listen to anyone mention them.
Aww.
Nobody knows what they are.
Aww.
Which is sad. But I was like, I'm not going to pretend like this whole episode is going to be me talking about, like, facts of life and having everybody be into it.
That's cute, though. No. Was it literally facts of life?
Well, yeah, I do remember they had a Halloween episode. And I remember it was scary, but I don't know.
I love that. I would have loved that. That's okay.
I know. So I just kind of was like, I couldn't think of anything good. And I realized I don't watch any modern shows. I watch shows that are creepy and scary. But that's not what this was about.
Yeah.
So I do have one.
Okay. Do you want to share it, or do you want me to say something?
Well, I feel like you have more to say.
I do. I have a few. I just put down a few of my faves.
I want to hear what you have.
And I'm not going to say a whole lot about them because I really want people to look these up and watch them.
That's nice. That's smart.
Most of these you can. I think I checked, like, most of them. You can. So I think it would be pretty easy, too. And it's a mixture of modern and old.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'll just say a couple that I have. Okay. So one is The Office. There's a Halloween episode. In season 2.
I've never even seen that show. I've never seen it. Never seen it once.
Okay. So
although that's a lie. I've seen it, like, twice, but not. I have no idea.
Yeah. So I love The Office. So I think they may have done a couple Halloween episodes, but there's one that I really like. It's in season 2, when it was still, like, very zany, and, like, I think the earlier seasons are funnier. Season 2, episode 5. It's great to watch, like, the costumes that the characters pick. It's like, it very much shows who they are, and it's very funny. And the whole premise of the show is that Michael has to fire somebody by the end of the day, and it's Halloween. And, like, Michael Scott never wants to do anything confrontational or hurt anyone's feelings or do anything bad, so he's really, like, struggling with this, and then they start to pick up that he has to do this. So it adds this just, like, layer of tension to the day, and it's just great. It's such a good episode, and it's, you know, short. It's, like, 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And one of the things I do love about Halloween episodes is the costumes.
Oh, yeah.
That the people are in.
Same.
Because it usually is a reflection of their character in the show, or it's like an opposite of the character in the show, or, you know, they're also like usually really good costumes because they're made for TV shows.
Exactly.
So they're like well done, you know?
Definitely. Even if they're simple, they're like well done or well thought out or whatever. And sometimes they're really elaborate, so that's cool too.
Yes, I know. Okay, all right. That is good. That's cute. I like it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Should I say another
You should just say another one.
Okay.
And then I do have more things to say than nothing, but it's very, very much close to nothing.
Okay. Well, you've already kind of hinted at something, which I like where you're going with that. Anyways, okay. The other one, this is a little bit of like a deeper pull, and people might not know this, but if they don't, I feel like I'm unlocking something that might be amazing. There's a show called Freaks and Geeks.
She loves this show.
I love this show. It's one of Judd Apatow's like earlier works, and he's amazing. So, it's just an amazing show. It didn't last more than one season because people just didn't get it at the time, I'm convinced. If it were to happen now, it would have been like this massive hit, but it unfortunately wasn't, so it was only canceled. It was canceled after the first season, but there is a Halloween episode in the first season because this show is just very nostalgic. It's about like 80s teens, and it's episode 3, and it's called Tricks and Treats, and it just has like the 80s nostalgic costumes, the 80s nostalgic Halloween decorations. It's very wholesome in that way and true to the time period. And there's a young Martin Starr in this series, and I love him as an actor, and he dresses as the Bionic Woman in this episode. So for that alone, just to see Martin Starr as a teenager dressed as the Bionic Woman, like, you have to watch this episode. It's so good.
It's pretty bold to put a Halloween episode in a first season of a series, I
yes,
gotta say.
It's Apatow. Like, everything about this series just like has that nostalgia and those feels, and like Halloween is that is the quintessential holiday for that. So yeah, it's perfect. I love that episode. I love that series.
You do. I do know that about, you love that show.
I do.
And no, it's worth people watching, or, you know, even if it's not on currently anymore.
Right.
Okay, so I will say the one episode that I could think of that really came to mind, and I think this was the episode that came to mind when we even talked about doing this, because I love this episode so much.
Okay.
The show is Roseanne.
I wrote that down too, so I love this.
Okay, and the reason, well, all Halloween episodes are fun and good because they're Halloween, but the reason this one is so good is because it is also the story of how Roseanne and Dan met and got together. So it's also a throwback episode to like young Roseanne and young Dan.
Yes.
And the actors that are playing them are so good.
Yeah.
It's so cute and good. So the whole episode is a Halloween episode, and then the throwback is also in Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's so, so cute. And that show, look, I don't know. Is it okay to like Roseanne still?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You know, I don't know who's canceled. I don't know who's insane.
Oh,
like,
who
I don't know
cares?
what happened. Okay? I don't know. Whatever she's doing is fine with me. I don't care.
She was hilarious. That show is a gem. Their Halloween episodes on that show are some of the best on TV. They put so much into them.
Yes, and I think it's because she wanted to. She liked it.
You can tell.
Yes. But so then I also had a question along with this.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, so I know there's that show, The Connors.
Yeah.
Which is a current show about the kids from Roseanne who are now adults and like their kids.
Yeah.
Did they do Halloween episodes?
I don't know because I've never watched that show.
Me either.
That we should look up and see because, you wonder if the Halloween love was like the writer. I mean, it felt like it was Roseanne Barr, but maybe it's John Goodman.
I think it was Roseanne.
I think it was her.
I remember hearing at some point an interview or her talking about it. Because also, way back a long time ago, there was a show called The Last Comic Standing, and she was a judge on that for at least a season. And so she would talk about a lot of things, and like, I think she talked about how she loved Halloween. So, anyways.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I wonder if it is. We can look it up and see if it is.
I know. So it ties into something modern, although I'm not sure.
We'll see. Let us know if you watch that show and if there's Halloween episodes.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
I have one more because I had Roseanne and you covered that. So I
But you can, okay, no, and you did. Okay, no, good. And then after that, I did have another thought on this entire subject, which I already had previously. So.
Okay.
But it's not like an episode, but.
That's okay.
Okay.
So the last one I have, and this one's a little bit like older and a little more obscure, but not as obscure as Gilligan's Island, I don't think. But but it's kind of around the same. So it's an episode of the show Happy Days.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yeah, okay. Well, Ron Howard, and they're even like, who's Ron Howard? It's Bryce Dallas Howard's dad, okay? Her dad is like this major actor, producer, director, whatever, Ron Howard. He was on a show, on a sitcom when he was young. It was called Happy Days. Just look it up, okay?
He was on a different show when he was even younger than that, too.
Yeah, it was called The Andy Griffith Show.
I know, it was so cute. He's like 4 years old. He was adorable.
That show was so cute.
Anyways, keep going.
Okay, anyways. Happy Days. It's a fun show. It's a cute show. It's bananas. It doesn't make any sense.
I actually hate Happy Days.
It really is quite dumb, but Ron Howard is just so affable and cute, and like you can't help but love him. He's just adorable.
No, that's true.
And there is in season 2, episode 6, there is an episode called Haunted, and his name is Richie on the show. Richie has to go to this Halloween party, and it's at this house in the neighborhood, and it's this storied house that everybody has, like, this lady died in it, and she's like this headless ghost and all this stuff. And there's another character on the show named Fonzie, and he is like playing up this whole thing, and so Richie's really afraid to go, but he ends up going, and like all these things happen. And you used madcap on the last episode. It sort of becomes like that, because it's like, what's happening? Like everybody's like freaking out, and it's just really, really cute. And it has a lot of just like nostalgia to it, because the show was it took place in the 50s, but it was filmed in the 70s,
correct.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's got this like 1950s kind of greaser vibe kind of to the show, but it's just very cute. So.
No, that was really good. So, okay, my other thought on this entire subject was that sometimes there are episodes of shows that are not Halloween episodes.
Yeah.
But the characters, for whatever reason, still are in costume.
Okay,
or there's something haunted happening.
Yes.
And specifically, okay, so we were talking about fucking Sherwood Schwartz, right?
Yes.
It's the guy who created Gilligan's Island. He also created a little old show called The Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
And this guy was a nutcase, okay? I don't know anything about him. But he created other shows as well.
Yeah.
But there's more than one episode of The Brady Bunch where they think, they think something's haunted.
Yes.
The kids do this whole setup. The parents want to sell their house, and the kids don't want them to sell it. So the kids do this whole setup to convince the buyers
that
the
it's
house is haunted.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yes, so there's like a bunch of episodes where it's like something scary or haunted is happening, but it's not like a Halloween episode.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Also, if you don't know the Brady Bunch, again, like look this up and watch. It is just bonkers and bananas.
It is
all over the place.
And here's the thing about any Sherwood Schwartz show. Sherwood Schwartz show, that's really hard to say. Is that you don't have to know anything, because the theme song explains the entire show.
Tells you everything.
It tells you everything you need to know, all packed into just that, 90 seconds of that theme song.
Yeah.
It just tells you all of it.
Yes, no, exactly. So, yeah, just quickly, the Brady Bunch is like a widowed father with 3 sons and a widowed mother with 3 daughters get married, and then they become the Brady Bunch.
Yes.
Because they're all Brady's now, because that's how it was back then.
That's right.
And all the girls were blonde, and all the boys were brunette.
Yep.
Anyways.
They all look like the dad. They all look like the mom.
Yes, and they had a cat and a dog and a maid. Anyways, it's the whole thing.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
And another show just that is a favorite of ours that does not have a Halloween episode is Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, I know. Interesting, right?
But there is at least one episode where like Rory's going to a party in college, and it's a theme party.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of like all wearing costumes. So I always liked that episode a lot too, because it's not a Halloween episode, but at least they're in costume.
Yeah, it's Halloween adjacent. There's a lot of shows that do that. Where there's costumes involved, or there's like something spooky or haunted or something involved.
Yes.
And like, I think those are totally valid. Sometimes like people will make lists, and then people get upset. Like, there's not a Halloween episode. If it is Halloween adjacent, it counts. It doesn't matter.
No, because it's a Halloween theme.
Exactly.
Even if it's not Halloween.
Right. These are the themes that we like about Halloween.
Like
why we're into it.
Spooky stuff and scary stuff and like costumes and all that stuff. So that was my other thought on that. So
I like that.
Okay, so I guess I didn't entirely fail.
No, you didn't fail at all. I liked it. They were good questions, and it was good contribution, and they have things to watch now.
Yes, okay, and also I'm sure there's a ton that we are missing, obviously didn't mention, but maybe you don't even know about. So let us know.
Yes,
we like stuff like this. We want to know more.
Yes, we love it. I love like seeing what other people recommend, especially if they're not the mainstream things, like that's why like I kind of tried to do that, because you hear of the same episodes a lot. People bring up the same ones. How I Met Your Mother, and there's a Halloween one, Big Bang Theory, whatever. These are fine, but I like the deep cuts. I'll find out how to watch it. I'll figure it out. I don't care if it's black and white. I don't care.
So, okay, that was our Big Witch energy. I feel like all expended, so I brought nothing and I'm leaving with nothing.
No, you're not leaving with nothing. You're leaving with something, because I have Spell of the Week.
No, I know, and I didn't forget about it.
No, I know you didn't, but I'm just saying, now you're not leaving with nothing. You are going to have this.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But it kind of goes along with what you're saying, because everything is fraught and you can't remember anything, and we cannot put more on your plate. We cannot put more on your plate. I don't want more on my plate. So no matter how many times we say these things about eclipse season, right? Like, don't manifest, just take the chance to like rest and let things kind of come to fruition and everything. We still get people being like, yeah, but like, what do I do? Because they cannot stop themselves.
True.
So because of that, my Spell of the Week this week is a non-spell spell.
A non-spell spell of the week.
Yeah, it's a non-spell spell.
Okay, so what do I do?
And
tell me what to do.
So tell me what to do. Okay. So it's a non-spell spell because of everything going on. So what you're going to do is you're going to really embrace, like I mentioned before, the Taurus energy. The Taurus energy of being still. Okay? I really want you to find a few moments. You might not have a lot of time, and I understand that, but you're going to be intentional about finding some time to be still. Stillness is the goal. You can do as much or as little as you want, whatever you have energy for. This isn't a manifestation spell, so it's not like you need specific correspondences. You don't even really need to think hard about this. I don't want you to think deeply or hard about this. I really want it to be kind of like just what your instinct is telling you, like free association. What is making you comforted right now? Is that a pillow? Is that a blanket? Is it a certain candle, a certain crystal? Whatever it is, if you want that around you while you do this, perfect, if you have enough time to think that through. If you don't, and you're just like, everything's crazy, I need this moment now, then just do it wherever you are. Let it kind of meet you where you are. You're just gonna do that, and you're gonna focus on stillness. And you can close your eyes. I recommend doing that. Close your eyes, focus on your breath. You can do a breathing kind of exercise if you want. You can focus on imagery if that's something that's like resonating. So pick an image, something kind of calming, something that resonates with being still. Focus on that for a few moments. You can do like a mantra. Sometimes that's helpful because it makes your mind focus on something, and all the other things sort of tend to quiet down or sort of move along, because that phrase is kind of taking all your brain power to focus on. So I really like doing that. Whatever it is, again, don't want you going into crazy research on figuring all this out or what works with the season. Don't worry about it. Whatever brings you comfort and stillness, I want you to do that at least for a few moments, at least once or twice during the week if you can. Yeah. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
I love it.
Good.
I love it.
Non-spell spell.
It is a non-spell spell, and sometimes that is exactly what we need.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what everybody needs right now.
Yeah. It's wonderful. I have nothing else to say about it.
Good. I'm glad.
Yes, and I feel like I want to go do that right now.
So do I. But we're stuck on a deserted island, so I don't know if we can.
Don't worry. I made us a bed out of coconuts.
Perfect.
And I wove us some blankets out of palm fronds.
Perfect. And we have 85 outfits
we can play dress up.
And we have a radio, but, you know,
yeah,
can't figure out what else to do.
Yeah, no, I know. Anyways, I think we should wrap this episode up. What do you say?
Yeah, let's go watch Gilligan's Island.
Until next time.
Stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.
Dumb Witch Club is written and produced by us, Ashely Sidner.
And Jackie Gerard at the Dumb Witch Clubhouse in Orange County, California.
Produced and edited by Matt Heinemeyer. Creative Director and Culture Consultant, Violet Turner.
Original music by Ashely Sidner. And look us up on all your favorite social media platforms, including Patreon.
Until next time, stay witchy, friends.
And stay dumb.